You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot
Ladies
Box.
and gentlemen, it is the Hot Take Hot Box Wrestlemania 40 preview episode. My name is Matt McSweeney. I am joined by Dante Maglio. Dante, we are going to be in the building, live and in person, to witness the greatness and continue to come along on the ride that The Rock is taking us on. The final boss, the Tribal Chief, the American Nightmare, and Mr. Freakin Rollins is going to be the main event of night one, and then we get an absolute banger of a night two with matches littered throughout the card. This whole card is exciting, but
We get
I'm so
back to
excited.
back nights out here, baby. I'm pretty stoked. We'll be in the building for both.
Yep.
Looking forward to both cards. The way that they kind of divided up the cards are going to both be bangers, and we are on the home stretch on the road to WrestleMania. It's been a long. Last time we spoke was Royal Rumble. It's been a long road, and we're in the home stretch.
Well, we discussed, just to lead up a little bit, unfortunately we lost our CM Punk match that we were very excited about. And we actually thought he was one of the people we thought could win the Royal Rumble. We also predicted right that The Rock was going to show up. They just did it an even worse way than we could have imagined. Had they just had him show up and won the Rumble, that would have been all over with. It would have
That's
been
fair.
nothing to argue about. But we lose Seth Rollins. We lose Brock Lesnar to some other stuff that
Yeah.
is not to be named. I mean,
Yikes.
rumors are he might be on the comeback trail. So name might be
He's
getting
still
cleared
around
or something like that. We'll see.
He's still around. He's not been excommunicado just yet. So good for him still. He's still being shown. He's still around a little bit. So it's that.
How have you enjoyed the road that you, like you mentioned, to WrestleMania? I personally have just loved everything involving the bloodline. I mean, I think it goes without saying. We've talked about this. The final boss being involved has just
Final
elevated the
boss.
game and changed the game. He's not The Rock to me anymore until he decides to
This is-
not be
yeah.
the final boss. Then he's acting as if the final boss. I mean, he's coming out of nowhere and just beating the shit out of everyone. Guy always has a weight belt on when he's beating people's asses. He decides, I'm going to take
He's
this off and
taking
whip
it
you.
so seriously,
Yeah.
and it's crazy. It's just like I didn't again, like you expect most things like The Rock, and you just forget how good he is at everything. That when he shows up, you're kind of expecting gimmicky stuff or stuff that's I don't want to say half baked, but stuff that's just like, oh, just for pops because The Rock's here. But he is taking it to another level.
Yeah.
And again, he's there every night. Like, he's been there every week since the Royal Rumble, which is crazy to think about that. Again, he's there night in and night out. It's crazy.
Showing up more than Roman, and that's something that you would. I mean, not that Roman is exactly the hardest worker in the game, but you didn't think that like you said, like when you thought The Rock was going to get involved, you didn't know what was going to happen, what the deal was going to be. You didn't think he was going to get this committed, this involved, go heel, completely change his character and just take himself and just legacy everything, all of that to a new level, and just add a whole another dynamic to this WrestleMania because all these guys that were here and have been here say, well, we don't need guys like The Rock. I think I heard Seth Rollins say that.
Yeah,
That's
but
not
like when
true. Listen, maybe you don't need them, but can you
need
use
them.
them? Can you want them? Can you
it just
make use
elevates
of them?
everybody.
Yeah, like
I mean, and again when he comes, it's such a compelling storyline that they've been able to craft with this whole thing that it's must see TV for the first 15, 30 minutes of every Raw and the last 15 minutes, 30 minutes of every Raw. It's like, all right, what's going to happen now between this storyline? I mean, he just popped up I'm watching Jimmy Fallon. He just popped up looking like $1,000,000 with him and Roman just kind of, chilling on Jimmy Fallon's couch. Like, this is the type of stuff that's kind of wild that, you know, you expect The Rock to be like, we've seen part timers come back at Mania kind of every year where it's like, all right, part time storyline. They're going to do a match at Mania. They show up for a Raw or show up for a SmackDown here and there, and that's it. I mean, he's on the road. He's there every week. He's putting on great promos every week. He's putting on, great, whatever it is, social media promos. Like he's just everywhere. And I remember last year, like, you had Cena. Cena was back last year for the U.S. title match versus Theory. Cena's had some extended runs. Like when Cena did his extended run in the fall, this tops that, which I didn't think
by a
I didn't
mile.
think we could get a part-time superstar coming back to top that run that Cena did, because again, Cena was on TV every Friday. This is right there with that.
And it seems like when Cena comes back, he's just okay being a part of it, helping guys out, and just kind of putting guys over. And the Rock has done, he's putting guys over, but in the same in a different way, you could say, because first he's just elevating himself. I think his ego is too big to be like, oh, I'm just gonna be like a patsy. I'm gonna do what I did before. I'm just gonna show up, and I think it really was an eye-opening experience when they switched that main event and the people really did react the way they did. I don't agree with them. If they had a plan, then they should have stuck to it, and I would have gotten to see The Rock versus Roman Reigns in person and
Would have
live
been
and
a
in color.
generational main event.
Selfishly, we feel like that, but for the storytelling element of it, it's going to make much more sense when The Rock or Roman Reigns turn on one another at some point, and it pushes them to WrestleMania. Now, the question is, will there be a belt involved? Will all that be, we're going to have to figure that out.
That's well down the line.
Yeah.
I think it's if The Rock is this committed to do. I think we were. I don't want to say a year or two off from this long term storytelling. We're on the front end of it now. It would have been great if we were on the tail end of it and it started a year ago. But
Yeah.
the Cody crybabies went to Twitter. We figured out what this new main event's going to be, and then I think ever since then, when The Rock turned heel and said, "Just enjoy the ride," The Rock's taking you on. I can't say I haven't been enjoying it.
The
It's literally been just that.
all of it, the slapping of Cody Rhodes at the press conference, the build up to that, and just how what are they going to do? What's going to happen? I think Cody's done a great job holding his own. And I will say, man, Seth has kind of been the underrated guy in this, because it's not even because of how good he's been or whatever, but Seth is so much better when he's serious, man. Like he really is. He's so much more compelling when he's over there doing his stupid Joker laugh and strutting around and doing all that nonsense. I don't find him entertaining at all. When he is dead ass serious and you feel like he doesn't like the guys that he's feuding with, then I like him and I can take him serious. And this whole thing, and even Drew has brought it out of him. So we'll get into.
I was gonna say,
we'll get into all that.
the last couple weeks, his promos with McIntyre and when Punk was back, like those were better than anything he's done with the Bloodline over the last couple weeks. To where it was like, Seth was just kind of there and focusing on the Bloodline, and then when McIntyre came back and said, "Hey, man, listen, like what," and Seth got serious about the World Heavyweight Championship match for a second, you remembered why. Obviously, he holds that belt for a reason.
And there is a reason that he holds that. Like you said, there's a reason he's been carrying the torch. He's been the working man's champion. And Cody says he's a champion without a belt. We are going to We're going to figure out the direction of everything, where everything's going to go. We're going to talk about it all on this episode. Let's get right into it. We have night one. They have told us. I didn't know if they were going to tell us what was night one and then what was night two. I think they do that, but I don't know. Like I'm just so excited. I didn't really care. It didn't matter. I knew what night one's main event was. I knew what night two's main event was. So
didn't care.
Didn't matter where you put them all. I knew what I was going to get to see. So I am excited either way. The first match they have listed here, who knows how they're going to actually break out in order, but Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch for the Women's World Championship. The Elimination Chamber decided this match. Becky Lynch beat a ton of women. Shout out to my girl, Tiffy Time.
It was not Tiffy time in Australia, sadly.
No, it was not Tiffy time in Australia.
It's always Tiffy time. So
Liv Morgan, that was another possibility that I thought could be just the sneaky pick because she had the built-in storyline. But honestly, at the end of the day, everybody...
It was always Becky.
We knew where they were going with this.
It was always Becky Lynch. And I think that they did this as another milestone for Rhea Ripley to just climb right over.
Yeah, and that Becky Lynch match was great. The chamber, that is. The women's chamber was awesome. Becky Lynch, I think, and Rhea Ripley have done a okay job of getting us ready for this. I mean, the brawls recently have been nice.
Got more heated.
Becky absolutely popped Dom on Monday night, I think it was 2 weeks ago. That was awesome. An absolutely real punch. Dom just gets his jaw rocked. I think it's fucked up. Mommy
Legend,
needs to do something about that at
legend,
WrestleMania.
Dirty Dom.
Yeah, Dirty Dom
Uh,
finding his way in WrestleMania as well, which we will get into that. But Dante, like I think you made mention of, you think this is just kind of a showcase for Rhea Ripley.
yeah, I mean, this. I feel like this match is gonna be a good match. It'll probably be a I don't want to say sneaky banger, but there's gonna be some just bodies flying all over the place in this one. Um, some absolute carnage between the two, just because that's usually what you get between Becky Lynch any match and Rhea Ripley being able to do what she does. But I have a feeling this is kind of something to extend Rhea Ripley's title reign. And I don't say put her over even more, but in this title reign, you'll have her have beaten both Charlotte to get the title and then now Becky to retain the title. And I think that's very I don't want to say symbolic, but I think that's where they're going. Like I don't see Rhea Ripley losing this title.
Yeah, I
Just
don't
don't
know
see
if
it.
this is the spot for it to happen. I don't like. I mean, I guess you could just throw it on Becky and have her have random feuds with other people, but I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it's time for Rhea to drop the belt. It does. It
You
hasn't gotten stale. It hasn't gotten anything like
no,
that. So
it's still great. You mentioned Liv Morgan. I think eventually Liv Morgan might be the one to potentially get that title off of her.
maybe
Or
she
there's
wins
a
the Money in the Bank again. That because that's kind of right around the corner.
SummerSlam. Like
Yeah,
maybe you have her drop it at SummerSlam. There's some ways to go about it, but like at WrestleMania against Becky Lynch, I don't see it happening. I like Becky Lynch, and she's always better with a belt, but I don't see her getting this one. I like Rhea Ripley's title again. It's not boring yet. She's had some good. It started off kind of slow, and then more recently, when they were able to build somebody up to challenge her, it's been a bit better with Nia Jax and some others. And I think with the roster that you have, you can build a couple more feuds for her over time. So like, it would make no sense to take that offer right now.
I agree. I agree. I don't think I wouldn't be mind blown or shocked if Becky were to win. But again, when you
I'm
kind
never
of
shocked if they put a belt on Becky Lynch,
no,
but like to put the belt on Becky Lynch now, it would be for I would assume Rhea to win it back
yeah, it
eventually.
just doesn't make
Like
sense.
the yeah, like the thing that I always think of, and this we'll get to it when we get to some of the other title matches down the line in this card, but it's almost like if they were to lose, like what are you doing with her next?
Yeah,
Like if Rhea Ripley loses, she can't challenge for that belt right away and lose cleanly because like she's not going to lose twice in a like back to back times. So either she's getting screwed at WrestleMania and Becky's winning, and then not winning, not losing obviously in a non clean fashion. Like there's no way that she loses the belt and she says, "All right, at the next live event, she's challenging for the belt again. She loses again. Like she's not getting pinned twice in the course of a couple months,
yeah,
clean
yeah.
or not."
It's
So
more
it's
likely
like,
that Becky gets screwed out of the win than Rhea or something like that would
yeah,
happen.
I mean they've Becky's had some animosity with Liv Morgan over the last couple weeks. The whole Liv Morgan revenge tour. It's very noticeable that she's not on the card. So does she get involved? Does Nia Jax get involved? You know, maybe there's some involvement. Does Judgment Day again? They've been teasing potentially new members in Judgment Day. Does someone like Candice LeRae, who I could see the heel turn coming,
I mean, it's already
come out
here.
there and represent? Yeah, and join Judgment Day type of thing to help Rhea win. You could go a couple different ways, but I think Rhea winning's the way to go. I would love to see a clean rear win, just so
That I
like
agree.
it just elevates her to this other level of like, you know, for years it's been obviously the four horsewoman and everything else with Becky, with Charlotte, with Bailey, Sasha Banks when she was there. Like those are the gold standard of like women title holders. Like I think this is Rhea's time to just jump them and say, hey guys, guess what? The future's insert the Malcolm in the Middle, Jeff. Future's now, old
Future's
man.
now, old man. So I agree. I think we both pick Rhea. How about we go Gunther defending his
Oh,
Intercontinental Championship, the Ring General, Gunther.
duh.
I heard Kaiser's hurt because I haven't seen him in a little
Or
bit, which
Vinci.
makes
Yeah, I haven't
sense.
seen either of them.
Against Sami Zayn, who won a 6-pack sort of eliminator, taking out Chad Gable at the end, which I was hoping
Yeah.
that Chad Gable, the Gable Academy was going to get elevated to a whole new level at WrestleMania.
Master
But
Gable.
I liked how they kind of shoehorned him into this feud.
This Rocky
Oh
storyline's
yeah.
hysterical. That promo was great. The
And then,
Rocky 3.
and then he gets his lifeless body drug out on the
Yeah.
stage on Monday night. And
Oh my
Gunther
God.
kicks the shit out of both him and Sami Zayn. Bronson Reed is just sitting in the ring like, okay, I guess I'll take
Yeah.
another W against
Yeah,
Sami
eating
Zayn.
dubs, Bronson Reed.
But
Eating dubs.
yeah, he's like, whatever, dude, no big deal. And Sami Zayn, they've kind of tried to present him as the ultimate underdog in this. We don't think there's really any way that he wins this, right?
No, I don't think he wins. I wouldn't be surprised though if when I'm gonna say when Gunther wins. So with Gunther winning and then him dropping the belt Monday after Raw against maybe Gable.
Yeah, then you could have
Right.
just done it right then, though, right? Like, I think the only way. So maybe there could be a world or a scenario where Sammy wins, and he wins, and Chad Gable comes in. Oh, I'm so happy
I
for you. I'm so
doubt.
proud of you. And then he turns on him. That
Oof, maybe.
and he's like, I've had enough of this, and
I could
being a
say it
nice guy hasn't done me anything. And Otis and Maxine are because he's kind of separated himself a little bit from the rest of
from
them.
the Academy, yeah.
So
That is true. I just don't see a world where Gunther loses to Sami
I
Zayn.
agree.
I can't see it. It would have to be like the wildest thing ever. I don't see it, but
it doesn't really do anything for him either.
it'll be a good match. Yeah, like
Beating
I like
Gunther, but
Sammy.
like he
I
doesn't.
love Sammy. I like Sammy having the belt would be cool. I mean, not necessarily this iteration of Sammy, like the ultimate underdog Sammy, but like Sam's always cool with the belt. But like, yeah, I just don't see Gunther. Like, I think they might just ride out Gunther with the belt for a while.
Why not? Right, and they're going to Berlin in the summer, so maybe that is the only reason I would think that they get it off of him is for him to go after the big belt, and I don't think it's that time yet. It's there's a couple of other things that need to be settled before he.
There's some big dogs going for that
Yeah,
belt, and like when Gunther wins that belt, he shouldn't lose that belt for like
for
a
a long
decent chunk of
time.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, and then there's the rumors flying that Ilya Dragunov's going to get called up to the main roster imminently. And when he goes from NXT to the main roster, just put him in a feud right with Gunther, just like right away, because those matches would be again insanity back from when they ran it back before. But you know, have that be for the Intercontinental title, like go for it. The thing is though, this is like he's done so much for that title that putting it on like a dude like Sammy now, or like again Gable, it's just like, well, how's this gonna go?
yeah.
Right? Like I love Chad Gable, fantastic in ring performer. You know, I like Sami Zayn, fantastic. All around performer. Like, how's that gonna go when it's like, all right, you got the belt that Gunther had for a billion days and kind of rose to prominence and then demolished everybody on his path to this reign. It's insane.
So I think an agreement there again. Gunther, he's gonna leave with the W, and it's just not the time yet, not the opponent to drop it to either. So
No.
how about next? They have on here the 6-pack tag team ladder
Oh
match
yes, I'm so excited
for the
this match.
undisputed
I
WWE
can't
Tag
wait.
Team Championships. I'm going to name all 6 teams that are involved. We have the Judgment
Yes.
Day: Finn Balor and
Yes.
Damian Priest versus DIY, Johnny Gargano,
Ugh.
Tommaso Ciampa, the Awesome Truth, the Miz,
Yes.
and R-Truth, the New Day, Kofi and Xavier Woods, A-Town Down Under. That goes without saying. Austin Theory and the 150 million Hitman as well. These guys are both 150 million Hitmen. Grayson Waller, and the new Catch Republic, Pete Dunne, and the big strong boy Tyler Bates. So
Big strong boy.
the big strong boy Dante. We both, I believe, we've discussed this. I think we both are in agreement. They're splitting these tag team titles. Michael Cole made a point of saying it on Raw that you have to retrieve both versions of the title.
Yeah, those titles are getting split, and they're going to do it in the most comedically satisfying way I think I can remember splitting of these titles and doing a ladder match ever. Uh, it's going to be one of those finishes that you're just like, oh my god, yes, they actually did it, and it's going to be great.
I was really hoping Pretty Deadly was going to make their way in here. It's
Yes,
tough. It's a tough
boy.
time, but who do we think actually winds up winning them? Is it? Do we think R-Truth goes up and gets the Raw belts or the
Yes,
SmackDown
I
belts,
one
and
of the two. One
then
of the
somebody ends
two.
up with the other ones? And who do you think ends up with the other ones? Would it be a New Catch Republic? I don't know. I really don't know where they can go. So many different ways with this.
I'm gonna say I think yes, our truth grabs a belt for sure. One of the belts. I don't know which one. And he gets so stoked that he got a belt and he's just like he thinks the match is over. And he's just like trying to tell Miz that they're the new tag champs without getting the other belts. And that's just like it's gonna be great.
Yeah,
Just straight comedy when that happens. Uh
this match is going to be awesome.
the other belts, I'm leaning more towards Theory and Waller.
Okay.
Um, just based on again comedic factor, right? One
Yeah.
of them seeing that the SmackDown titles are still up there and going for it, right? I think they've done a lot of good matches and good promos and good stuff over the last couple months on SmackDown. That I think giving them the belt would be cool, and I think giving them the belt would be a way to, you know, I don't want to say short title reign, but New Catch Republic's gonna probably end up with those belts at some point, or the Street Profits, or one of the more elite tag teams on SmackDown. Um, but you can elevate it a bit with what A Town Down Under can do, both on the mic and with promos. Like you could craft a very large SummerSlam match and a good lead up with them having the titles. And I
Yeah.
think I think that's important for the tag titles because again, like I love New Catch Republic. I think those guys put on fantastic matches. Um, same thing with DIY, but like you want to get these title belts kind of in promos in some electric type atmospheres before you give them to probably the best tag teams there.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think this is just a good way for us. We think for the Judgment Day to get these belts off them to kind of go in a different direction. They've kind of just been
The
hoarding these
breakup's
things.
coming.
It's imminent. It's around the corner. Dom is bringing all these people in. All these Latin people are getting
I
involved, and you can see
think,
they're all getting
yeah,
pissed
and
at it.
I think the when Priest and Finn, I think there's a good reason that this match is on night one and
Okay.
not with the other ones for reasons of, I think Priest might get a little maybe pissy or come up with his own ideas of what to do night two, leading to a potential also failed cash in. And then I think for separate reasons, we talked about the judgment. I think both Priest and Dirty Dom might be on their way out the door there in Judgment Day, but this is good. This is like a start to it, and I think you need to get those belts off of Finn. Like I love Finn Balor. I think he is incredible. You need to get the belt off of him and kind
Yeah.
of get him into more singles feuds. I don't care who that's with. You just have to get him back feuding again and back kind of in a singles comp and back into that world heavy. He competed for the world heavyweight championship, I think, at one point.
Oh yeah, for
So
sure.
you just gotta like get
Got
him back
screwed by
out there.
Damien,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
in a sense,
Oh
so
yeah, yeah. Because he was competing for it, and then Priest was like,
gonna cash in the middle of his match.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think like he he might go back that route eventually with whoever has the heavyweight championship match, but get him back in that picture. Um, get the tag belts off. And like R-Truth and the Miz, if they win the tag belts, if they lose them on Monday, I would not be upset. Just the sheer fact that they would win the tag belts and have them for a day would be awesome. Good enough for me.
Yeah, it would be a hell of a moment too. So honestly, I truly believe that this match is just more for the crazy spots you're going to see, and the like you said, the funny way that they're going to split these belts, and they really can go either way. I don't think there's a way I could be mad about
I'm
whoever ends up with these belts.
surprised. I'm surprised Braun Breaker and Corbin didn't squeeze their way into it because I think they might be getting called back up. Well, obviously Braun's already on SmackDown. I think Corbin maybe they keep the tag team alive potentially when they first get back onto SmackDown.
Just run through that division, yeah.
And again, give them the belts, right? Because it's no surprise that, or it's no secret that one of the PLEs coming up is in France, I believe. I want to say Backlash is in France.
Yes,
So again, I think Corbin is French or has a very large French following of,
that's right.
hey,
Remember hearing that.
get that man out there, have him win at least maybe the SmackDown titles with Braun Breaker, and that keeps Braun Breaker from very large singles competition in the meantime until you have a clear picture of like who he's going to just
They
demolish.
had him face a guy on SmackDown that it could have been a bouncer at a local bar. I had never
Oh
seen this
yeah,
guy
just
before, and
squash
he
match.
destroyed him in like 5 seconds. So
He's incredible. But like again, you can't do that with that. Like you're gonna
you're gonna run
have
out of people.
and you can't have him lose. Like he's not gonna lose. So have him and Corbin get a nice little tag run for a little bit, lose the belts, break up the team, then have you know Braun Breaker compete for the U.S. title, something like that.
All right, so now next we have a blood war, a brother versus
Uh,
brother matchup.
oof.
Main event: Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso, in a singles match. Uso versus
Yes.
Uso at WrestleMania 40.
Oof.
This is going to be they are going to set the world record for super kicks in a singles match. This is going to
Yeah.
be something else. I am very excited. I wish they would have gave them more time to really build this. It just it kind of gotten
It's
swallowed
been
up a little bit by
yeah.
the stuff going on ahead of them. I don't really blame it, but end of the day, I just can't wait to yeet all over myself at WrestleMania
Yeah, no yeet. Team no yeet.
and no yeet.
You be Jay Uso and up and down with the
Oh yeah, it's just me, Us.
yeah, I'm lucky that night. So it's WrestleMania Saturday. I'm going with my brother, so I might give him a couple super kicks in the parking lot.
Yeah, brother
Little
versus brother.
brother versus brother. The pre-match in
Yeah, a
the Jetro parking
little
lot.
appetizer before we
Yeah,
head into the link. But
a little no yeet for him.
you think Jay wins this? I think Jay's got to win
Yeah,
this.
I don't think there's any way. I love Jimmy. He's been. I think personally, the last probably since the Royal Rumble, maybe even a little before. Jimmy's been the more entertaining of the two.
Oh yeah.
And just from not just sheer comedy factor, but again, Roman hasn't been around as much 2024 on SmackDown, even early 20 or late 2023. Like Jimmy was kind of running some things in the bloodline. I thought Jimmy was very uh super entertaining, and I think is the more entertaining of the two at the moment right now. Um, Again, like main event Jey Uso, the entrances are hype. He's probably the better in ring performer. The storylines haven't, I don't think, hasn't been there. He's just been wrapped up in other people's nonsense.
Yeah.
And again, with Jimmy, he's still holding down the bloodline. And again, comedic factor there. So I mean, I think Jay wins. I wouldn't be shocked if they give it to Jimmy and then kind of, you know, from there evolve the bloodline, or maybe he tries to evolve his standing within the bloodline. But I'm still leaning Jay just because of main event Jey Uso and how much they've tried to push him over the last 6 months.
Going to be any interference in this? You think, or are they going to let them duel it out
I mean,
straight up?
Solo's got to show up, right? Maybe Rikishi has to show up. Like it's his son,
Rikishi said he's
bro.
going to be there, so yeah.
Yeah,
Somebody has to get involved
put that
here.
diaper back on, fatty. Let's go.
Jesus. He said they make cars. They make I can get there. And I was like, oh shit, Rikishi's going to be in the building.
Yeah,
I,
I'd say Solo should show up, maybe.
I mean, I don't. I just don't know where they would go after this. That's the only thing. So because it's it being night one, I just don't. I guess it's just Jimmy's just gonna lose fair and square, and then what they shake each like they're not gonna shake hands, So I don't know.
Not gonna
I'm very
yeah.
curious to see what's gonna happen after the match, as opposed to the actual match itself.
Well, again, they all got to show back up at the end of the night for the other match
Yeah.
anyway. Like, you would assume like Jimmy's not going to lose and just like not show back up, and if he does, then the Bloodline's in some deep trouble after Mania. Um, I could see some interference, and again, knocking Jay kind of out of the end match, but I don't see any way. Again, we've seen the crowd interact with Jay. We've seen how the crowd loves Jay, how the people love Jay. Like this is Jay's time to win this main event. Jay Uso, you know, win this thing, and then kind of get the crowd hype, get the people going.
It's just me, Oos. Day one.
Yeah, and again, it makes more sense on the Uso push. I wouldn't be mad though if this turns into like a long term, like, I don't want to say trilogy feud, but
No,
if
I
you get
agree.
this, if you get this again at like called SummerSlam, like I wouldn't be mad if you get, ugh, or even like Jay versus Solo at SummerSlam, something
Yep.
along that nature of like, hey, we're just running through the entire all of his brothers, right? Just like every single Samoan, we're just having wild matches with all of them.
Yeah,
I would
and
love to see Jimmy Uso win, just no yeet to everybody. That would be hysterical.
yeah, I think if he wins, it's going to be in the most despicable fashion possible.
Oh, absolutely.
And
Oh, absolutely.
you're going to hear Pat McAfee on the call yelling, "What a piece of trash!" Which
He would be.
that
He would
always.
be.
I love when he starts yelling at Cole, saying that the final boss is his boss. He's like, "Respect your boss."
He is. I mean,
He's your boss.
McAfee's been so good on Raw.
Oh my
Like
god.
it's been great.
How about Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and
Oh
Naomi versus Damage Control? A lot of your girls are featured in this one.
yeah, I'm gonna be losing my voice over there in the hundred. I'm gonna just be barking. I'm
From
gonna be like, "Sir, just please stop."
from a match standpoint, I truly don't care. This match doesn't really do much for me. I mean, Bianca, Jade, and Naomi are gonna win. Just
Yeah,
they're not gonna have Jade
absolutely.
Cargill win her or lose her first official match. It's kind of like a
Nah.
we didn't have anything to do with Bianca and Naomi, and Jade needs a showcase, sort of another
Yep.
showcase, and they're just gonna kind of do that here. So I don't really have much thoughts.
Dakota, Kyrie. Sorry, you guys are one of you's eating a pin. I don't know
Yep.
which one yet.
And probably Dakota. They're gonna just have Dakota, work her way up the hard way because it's just
I
how the
mean,
game goes.
it makes sense. The match kind of feels very last second put together, kind of just like, hey, this is the plan for Jade now, and let's just put her in this. I have a feeling it's going to turn into between Naomi, Jade, and Bianca. Two of the three of them are going to become tag champs. Eventually, to kind of get those belts off Oscar. Like, I keep forgetting that not Oscar's a part of the Kabuki Warriors. That it's just like, oh shit, like what's Oscar doing with the tag
Yeah.
belts? Like, I think that comes sooner rather than later. And I think the whole thing kind of, you know, this is like a precursor to that. Like Jade, Naomi, Bianca win. Maybe you do like singles matches at one of the PLEs coming up, and then you do, hey, we're gonna challenge you to the tag titles at wherever the hell, and then take the belts off, put them on, whether that be Naomi or Bianca and Jade, or Jade and Naomi, whichever one you want to, whichever two you want to go with
Yeah.
to make into a tag team, and then shift Asuka to the winner of the Bailey Io Sky kind of feud there for a little bit.
Bailey's probably gonna have to beat the ass of everybody in Damage Control if she winds
And
up
I
winning the
think that
title.
that yeah, and I think that that's kind of the route to go. I think it's EO first, and then EO again probably at Backlash. Then
Yeah,
maybe you get like Dakota Kai through the summer at SummerSlam. I guess Bailey Dakota Kai maybe because that's where they debuted.
maybe.
Like, that would not re-debut. Like that's where like Bailey brought Dakota Kai and EO back, and then maybe you get like Asuka in the in the fall, and at that point, who knows who wins that one because it's Asuka,
Yeah, I think
right?
that we'll get to what we think about the Bailey and
But
Io Sky situation.
Jade needs to look, and she will, and
Yeah,
she's just going to look incredible in this match, and it's going to be wild.
no doubt in my mind. How
What?
about no? Go ahead. If you
Nope,
got
that's it. Just
okay,
Jade's
she's
just
gonna
gonna
look
look
incredible.
incredible.
She always
She's
does.
gonna look incredible. Just always does. Like when she just shows up, she's gonna look incredible, and she might just power slam somebody into oblivion.
Batista bomb Michael Cole
Oh
through the
my
table.
god.
That would be
Oh lord.
sweet. So, how about the Latino World Order? The new member of the
Yes.
Latino World Order, Dragon Lee, Rey Mysterio returning for WrestleMania this year versus Santos Escobar
Yes.
and Dirty Dom Mysterio. I cannot wait to hear that boo in person. I don't
Oh
know
my
if I
god.
have it in me to boo. I think for the game I
No.
might boo. Just to give him. I think it's a respect thing now that everybody.
I got to tip my cap. I'll tip my cap to him.
Oh yeah, you might get a golf clap from me. I have so
Yeah.
much respect for Dirty Dom and what he does for the Judgment Day, for WWE, for everybody out there. This man is a man of the game. I
He's the
cannot wait.
best.
Cannot wait till
He's
he
the
has the
best.
belt, or not even the belt, the
I think he
briefcase,
gets
and he
a belt.
cashes
I
in on
think
somebody. Yeah, it's only a matter of
oh,
time. It's
you
only a
briefcase. That'd
matter
be
of time.
interesting. That would be interesting.
Have him cash in on somebody and just. I wish he had the briefcase this year and he could cash in on Cody. That would be
Yeah, I didn't think about
all-time
him getting the
generational heat.
briefcase. I already been thinking about who I want to get the briefcase, but Dom wasn't one. He was up there, but he wasn't like top. But
So
this match is gonna be interesting.
yeah, I mean, would you think Ray and them win?
No,
Probably not.
I'm going Dom. I'm going Dom and Santos. I don't
I
think
mean,
Dom
Dragon
could
Lee
take
just lost
another.
WWE Speed this past week. I don't know if you
Yeah,
saw
well,
that.
he's a bum. I'm upset this isn't Carlito. To be honest.
Carlito
Well,
is getting disrespected left and right. That's what somebody was like. Now I understand why Ray gets
I
people
think
turning on him.
Carlito could turn on Ray and do like a. I think everyone's going to get involved in this match though. From
Yeah,
like, you have Zelina Vega and Electra Lopez. You got Dirty Dom. You got Santos. You got Carlito. You got
those
Ray.
other two stooges.
Yeah. You got all of them. It's just like I think everyone's going to get a bit involved. I think Electra Lopez and Zelina Vega should just go at it and just be added to the match. But like I think Dom lost last year to Ray 1-on-1. I don't think he should lose again
Yep.
to Ray. Now I don't necessarily think he should pin Ray. I mean
That would be sweet.
Dragon Lee. Hey, you should take the pin probably, or
Is Dragon Lee the guy that beat him for the NXT Championship? One of the guys.
the North American one. Yeah,
Yeah.
they had their battles back and forth. But yeah, I think Dragon Lee took it from him. I mean, again, and that you have like a running feud there. I would just, I think for Dom's story and where I think it needs to go, he should win this match.
I think
Because
I
I also
agree.
think he should leave Judgment. Like I think he should leave Judgment Day, but I think he should do it on a more so on a win and not like with this getting kicked out. Like Damian Priest, I want to get kicked out of Judgment Day. Like get out of here. I kind of went with Dom. They just kind of like go their separate ways, and then Dom, starts again aligning himself with
He's gonna
some of
start
the
asserting himself though. You can see he's like not really the back. He's acting like the little like, oh sorry mommy. Like he's acting like he's like such a little scared puppy. But he's going around. He's just inviting people in. He's kind of just taking over a
right.
little bit. He's asserting
And I
himself.
think that's the thing, but I think you can't do that if he loses, and it just
It looks
almost I don't want to say
stupid.
buries him. It looks bad if it's just like Dom did all this stuff, lost that Mania, and now Judgment Day's like go off on your own. Unless again you're getting like a face turn out of him soon, which you might be. But like
I hope
I
not.
could I could see him start aligning with like other groups. I could see him feuding with other like you know if they it would be interesting to see if they put Andrade in Judgment Day and then you know he basically just replaces Dom. Um, I personally just want to see Dom win at Mania. That's
Yeah.
it. That's
I
all.
selfishly I agree as well. So I
I
think
could see them going the other way. Like if they decide, hey
now this is
Ray,
one of them. It's kind of inconsequential. Like I don't know. Like you try to find a reason why like this shouldn't happen. This should happen. It's like I mean I think either side is gonna be. I think Ray and them boys need to take the loss though. I now you kind of have convinced me that it kind of needs to happen. So
I need Carlito to spit the apple in someone's face.
Carlito comes out, screws Ray.
Yeah.
Ray just getting screwed left and right.
He
That would be
spits in the face of things that are uncool. Come on, dog.
well, Dante. We have reached the main event of night one.
Oh,
This
let's
this
go.
is the hot ticket on the card on the market. The
This is
Bloodline,
it.
The Rock, the final boss,
Final
and
boss.
Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, the head of the table. They take on Cody Rhodes and Seth Freakin Rollins in what has been billed as and is probably true one of the biggest tag team matches in the history of WrestleMania.
They're not. Yeah, they're not wrong.
And it's definitely one of. And the stipulation has been added for anybody out there who's kind of not really been following it and is like, hey, I'm going to watch WrestleMania to kind of, just because I hear all this shit about it. Everyone's talking about it all the time. Let me see what the big deal is.
It's on
If
Peacock.
it is
I
on
got
Peacock.
I pay for Peacock, and I might as well watch wrestling.
It's unfortunate. How about if Rhodes and Rollins win, all members of the Bloodline will be barred from ringside during the undisputed WWE Universal Championship match on night 2. But if Rock and Reigns win, the championship match on night 2 will be held under Bloodline rules. And that's right, ladies and gentlemen, Bloodline rules. You're probably sitting there going, "What the fuck is Bloodline? What are you talking about?" Nobody knows. Nobody knows. It could mean anything. All right, they can do whatever they want.
It yet.
There could
They
be
have not
7 dudes
explained
starting
that.
in the ring, and they just start beating the shit out of you. There really are no rules. No.
All the Samoans show up.
Yep, Rikishi,
everybody.
everybody. The ghost of Yokozuna could come out there. There could be all sorts of stuff that happens, and that there's anything is on the table on night 2 if the Bloodline rules happens. But first, we have to figure out who's going to win this match. The final boss has been incredible in the lead up to this. Roman Reigns, them on Monday night beating the shit out of Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins.
Absolutely dog walking.
And Roman just talking shit to the camera and saying he's got a vice grip on this title. And nobody, there's no better version of Roman than when he's just talking shit by himself to the camera. It's been incredible. I can't wait to see what The Rock looks like in the ring after, basically a decade.
Think he still wears the trunks?
Yeah, he has to. Absolutely. He's going to come out looking like a unit. It's going to be unreal. Cody and Seth, they're going to have the energy, the stamina factor in their corner. Dante, I must ask, who do you think leaves? And this truly, in my mind, can go either way. I don't have a lean either way of who wins this.
I hate to say it. I just don't. It does not help me to say this out loud. You have to. Cody and Seth have to win.
Yeah.
They can't lose.
They can't take this beating that they have these past couple weeks.
Cody's been getting annihilated for 3 weeks, right? Straight. And I think it's more so for like where do you want to go? Not so much of just like, who wins in a vacuum.
Yeah.
But like, again, Cody's just been getting just absolutely killed by The Rock for like now 2 weeks straight, right? You can't have him lose again to The Rock and Roman, and then all of a sudden just be like, "Oh, I'm here to contend for the championship and win the title," and me take him seriously as a champion, right? And people will tell you like, "Oh, but he beat the odds and beat all the Bloodline members and got the belt." Like, I'm not gonna take that seriously if he gets again demolished by The Rock for 3 weeks straight, because he's gonna have that belt and be like, "Well, when The Rock shows up, he just crushed you for 5 weeks." I think Cody and Seth have to win. I think it would be best for kind of everybody involved if they won. Keep Bloodline rules out of the Cody Rhodes match, but that's where I'm going with it.
So you think Cody and Seth leave with the win? They get the stipulation on their side.
Yes, I think Roman probably takes the pin, and I think it causes more friction between him and Big Dwayne eventually.
Okay, but you don't think it ultimately culminates in something bad happening to, like on Sunday? It doesn't necessarily that few. You don't think like The Rock? I guess it wouldn't make sense then if for The Rock to come out because he's barred from ringside, so he wouldn't be able to come down and fuck over Roman Reigns or something like that, right?
No, I think they worded this whole thing very particularly, and I think they did it for a reason. The hints that at least I've been going off of is if Seth and Cody win for the Roman and Cody match, it's no bloodline rules. They're barred from ringside, but Seth still has to defend a title on
Yeah.
Sunday. That The Rock has been very vocal about Seth Rollins, mainly on Twitter, but about that belt. And I think you have Cody and Seth win, and you still have The Rock show up and mess with that match a little bit, or something along that line. Just because you need it, but I don't see there being a scenario that the bloodline win, Cody and Seth lose on Saturday. Now you're talking bloodline rules. Like you're not gonna. I don't think you have Cody Rhodes lose twice on WrestleMania weekend on when he's main eventing back to back nights.
Well,
So
that
I'm probably taking Cody for a selfish reason because I don't think he's winning on Sunday. So you know what? Let's give him
yeah,
Saturday.
that makes sense because I think we both are in agreement. If the Bloodline win this, then Cody's gonna win on Sunday. There's gonna be somehow this odds stacked against him.
Right.
Everything's not gonna, everything not going his way, and
And
somehow he just finds a way.
kudos to him if he does that. And again, I'm not going to sit there and be like, you know, uh, whatever. But like, it just I would not be able to after how they built it up for weeks. I wouldn't be able to sit there and take this title. Like it's going to be off on the wrong foot already.
Yeah,
This title reign, because I'm just going to sit there and be like, all right, look, you just got straight whipped for 3 weeks back to back to back and against The Rock, and then he beat you at a match, and then you won this title. So it's almost just like you know you overcame the odds in the match, and in a vacuum you got your moment. But like in the storyline perspective, like you're not starting off on the right foot with me. Like I'm not taking this title reign seriously because I just saw you get punked for like 3 weeks straight.
yeah, yeah. The
Literally 3 weeks straight.
and Cody didn't even want to pick Seth Rollins to be the guy he wanted to face at WrestleMania. So, like, to me, I think me and you are going to go in the same direction with this, and the next match that we're going to talk about is kind of leans into this. So, I am in agreement with you as well. I think Cody and Seth find a way to win on Saturday night. The no bloodline rules are in effect. They're all barred from ringside, so it's like, wow, Roman's gonna lose. Like, this is like he has to fight him fair and square. He doesn't usually win fair and square, but I know I've seen a lot of people, and the people who want the bloodline to win, and then they want like the Avengers portals to open up and have like Stone Cold come out and take
It's
out the Rock. Like
ridiculous.
you get a fucking
I
grip,
hate that.
dude. Yeah, like let's be a little realistic. I'm trying to, it is wrestling and we're all having some fun, but let's try and be a little realistic here when we kind of have some conversations about this. Because, come on, do you think Stone Cold's gonna come out and stunner the Rock to screw over Roman Reigns and let Cody win, and he's going to get an attitude adjustment, and all this nonsense is going to happen? Come on, guys. Come on.
I think
Rikishi's going to come out? No, come on. Come on.
yeah, I just not during the heavyweight, not during
Hulk
Bloodline Rules
Hogan's going to
match.
drop the
Like
fucking leg drop on them on Sunday
yeah,
night.
but
Got
like
one more on me, brother.
like Sunday night. Like I don't see it. I just don't see that man losing the title. I don't I don't.
I
I'm
know.
gonna be. And again, if they lose that, if Roman and The Rock win on Saturday, it's gonna look that way that Cody's probably gonna win this title. But again, it's just like from the straight optics, and it's also like we talked about with Rhea Ripley. Like, what do you do after this? Like, if you take the belt off of Roman, let's just say, like, what are you doing with him
Well,
outside of like feuding with Solo eventually, just because like he hates his family now?
also, would that mean, Dante, that Cody has to go to SmackDown? Because, I mean, they wouldn't have both of those belts on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, no, and that's another good point. Like, you would
They
separate the
could do the
belts.
draft, because I think that draft is probably right around the
Draft to be
corner. And
coming up, yeah.
they
But
could.
like, I just don't see it.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I don't know.
Roman's
There's
not working Monday nights ever again. So like, hey man, Roman is SmackDown, and I think Roman's gonna be SmackDown until maybe the whole Netflix thing happens. But like,
And I could see
Roman
them putting the
Reigns.
belt on Cody. I am at that point where I have reached. It's like
Oh, I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked. I would just be like, I not that I don't see it happening. If it did happen, I wouldn't be like, oh, this is insane. I'd be like, yeah, okay, I get it. But like,
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I just, this is why I love it. It's really why I love it. I can see this going either way, and I'm so fascinated to see what happens. Let's get into night 2, Dante. We have Seth freaking Rollins defending his World Heavyweight Championship against Drew McIntyre, the savior of
broken dreams.
WrestleMania.
Give me broken dreams.
I sure hope so. I fucking love that. I love that song. I love that entrance. I love when he did it at Clash at the Castle. I think this is the match where if the Bloodline were to lose, they'd have to interfere in Seth Rollins' match.
Yep.
They would have
Yeah,
to. And
I think they will, and I think maybe not the whole bloodline, but definitely The Rock, just because of what he's been saying to Seth Rollins on mainly on Twitter. But I could see The Rock showing up at that match. Like the whole thing sets up for me, and I think it's a great setup, and it would be, wise of them to do it one of these couple ways. But again, Seth loses based on The Rock just showing up and interfering a bit. Cody doesn't go help. Cody says, "I got to focus on my match with Roman. You're on your own. Sorry, man." Seth sour grapes about it. Slight interference at the end with Cody, and then you kind of kick off another. You know, I don't want to say a full summer, but maybe a little bit of Cody and Seth going back and forth, maybe and feuding a bit. But like, I don't know if I want to go that route, but I don't think I don't think Seth retains. Like
no, Drew's winning either
Drew's
way.
belt. This is Drew's belt.
That's the thing. I don't know if it leads to the him and Cody turning on each other. Like I don't know. I don't know about that. What I do know is I think Drew McIntyre leaves here with the World Heavyweight Championship. I shouldn't actually say that. He wins this match. And then maybe this is where you get that Damian Priest cash in to steal that
always
moment
forget
from
he
him.
has the cat. I always forget he has the briefcase. But like yes, I could see the Damian Priest potential cash in. I I don't know if he would successfully do it. I
Yeah.
think CM Punk being there on commentary is really throwing me through a loop because again, he's had that history with The Rock. I could see if The Rock shows up, him and CM Punk going, face to face, and CM Punk just letting The Rock do whatever he wants to screw over one of those two because he hates them both.
Yeah.
And then the same thing with this. Like if Priest tries to come in to cash it, I could see CM Punk kind of, I don't want to say stopping it, but you know,
He says he feels good.
intervening in a bit and having Drew walk out of that title because I think there's part of CM Punk that wants Drew McIntyre at SummerSlam when he's healed for that title. Like his first match back, I think he wants to be Drew McIntyre at this point, and I think he wants it to be for that. Like he wants to be the one to take that title from Drew McIntyre. You can tell that CM Punk's just going to be like hater of the year for all
Yeah.
summer long, and just like
And,
cook.
and I think this was a match where I was going to try and pitch, maybe in the middle of the match, Damian comes down, cashes in, makes it a triple threat, so then that the interference could happen kind of freely, and it would be a no rules,
Could be
no holds barred. But I could also see that that was
at the end.
the tweet that that I think I sent you, and it was makes
Yeah.
that match a triple threat, and Damian gets screwed. Roman pins him, so Cody doesn't have to eat the pin, and just wins in like a slimy, disgusting way.
Yeah, shout out to one of my buddies. He also said the same thing. I'll shout him out. Matt Smart. He actually listened to
Shout
one of these
out.
podcasts before, but he's texted me that same thing. He says if he could see Priest attempting to cash in during the Rhodes Roman match, and then Roman pinning Priest kind of at the end to retain, and then that would kick off a Priest Cody kind of mini feud until later in the summer, but it gives because again, you're always looking forward to like, all right, what's this person going to do next? It kind of gives Cody something to do with Priest that I don't think they've really. I mean, they did kind of feud, but this would be like more of a legit like feud between the two of them
Yeah.
at premium live events, and I think it would benefit both of them.
Yeah.
Um,
I
and
refuse
that's
to
why
believe
that's
that
why I
they're going to give
think
this to Damian Priest, though. Like, he's not
no,
going to
he's
leave
not.
this night
No,
as
he's
the
not leaving with the
undisputed
title.
WWE Universal
No,
Champion.
no. But I think and that's part of the. And again, we look at these things and we see different things pop up on the card, and it's like, oh, that's interesting. With the 6-pack ladder match being the night before, and
Yeah.
us assuming that they're not gonna retain those belts, I could see Priest showing back up night 2 and going rogue. Now, it is also interesting to note all of Judgment Day is night
Night
1.
one. I meant to mention that because I found
All of
that
Judgment Day
fascinating
is
as
night
well.
1. So again, does Judgment Day not show up for night 2?
Nah, they
Is
have
there a
to be
little
there.
when again?
Maybe they don't
Do
rent
all
the
of them have to
clubhouse 2 nights in a row. It's a possibility,
like
to
maybe they don't? Maybe it is something just like, hey, you know, we lost Rear One, whatever. Like, let's just get out of here and regroup at the back of the hotel, like whatever. Like, we don't even come down for night 2, and then Priest just shows up and tries to cash in without any of them there, without knowing that he's there, goes rogue, just does his own thing, right?
Yeah.
And then kind of Monday Night Raw just like, hey man, what the hell was that? Like, dude, what was that? Like, what did you think you were going to win the undisputed heavyweight champion, the undisputed universal title here, man? Like, do you think you were pinning Roman Reigns? Like, what gives?
Yeah.
Um,
They really can do
it's
anything though.
interesting. Yeah,
I'm going back and forth with this, but I do think Drew
I'm going
McIntyre
Drew.
wins this match. Yeah, I'm just
Drew
gonna go with that. It's
wins.
hard to predict all those
Chaos
other.
ensues.
Yeah.
Are you going to start crying when CM Punk comes out? Just when you hear
I
that
think I might
music?
have to. I was so excited for him to have a match here too, and it's a shame that got taken. But at least I get to hear like Mussolini. At least I get to
You gonna
experience.
yell it's clobbering time?
Absolutely, without question. I can't wait to do Pat McAfee's song as well. I can't. I'm excited for the whole environment. I haven't been to a show in so long. It's been over a decade since I've been at a
Wow.
live event. So I'm so excited for it. Just in general, it doesn't really matter what happens. I'm gonna consume beverages in the parking lot. I'm gonna
That's
have my
right.
fucking hoodie on. By the way, WWE shop, you are garbage. I just like to tell you that. And let's get that out of the way. All right. How about Io Sky defending her WWE Women's Championship against Bayley in a kind of a grudge match here? Io Sky, member of Damage Control, Bayley kind of got kicked out of the group, won the Royal Rumble. That was the lock that we were kind of given to
Lock
the
of the
people
century.
on the last podcast. You can go back and
Lock
listen
of
to
the
that and see
century.
how smart or stupid we were. But
We're pretty
Dante,
smart. We ain't that bad.
do you think? I thought we did pretty good as well. Do you think Bayley? I think Bayley comes away with the win here. I think
Yeah.
it's time for Io to drop
Yeah.
the belt, and good has to beat evil somewhere on this card.
Yeah. No. Bailey wins. I think EO's title reign's been cool. She's done some decent things, but they ran out of opponents for her, and then it was just like teeing Bailey up for her. And I think Bailey wins, and then you try a rematch. I think Bailey keeps his belt for a decent chunk of time,
Yeah,
until you know the belt's ready to go to one of the other billion challengers that are on SmackDown. But like, she should have a nice title run. Bailey's always more interesting with the belt. Um, so I think it's she deserves it. Like, this is going to be one of those like.
it's time.
Yeah, and like she's had belts before. She's won that title before, but like coming back from the injury the way that she came back at SummerSlam now, was that 2 years ago? Um, Getting close to different titles, getting close to different, you know, things, and then having, the members of Damage Control that she brought in all win, and now she's kicked out of Damage Control and doing the whole nine. Like, give her the belt.
I agree.
Give her the belt.
Give her the belt. It's time. Io Sky, it's just like you said, seems that she's run out of stuff to do and people to defend against. I love Io Sky. I love her in the ring. I think she puts on some great matches, but I just think it's time. And I think these guys could have a little feud. Maybe they pass it back and forth a few times, but ultimately, I just think here on the Sunday night, Bayley leaves with the W. So
Yeah, and
sorry.
that's easy.
Yeah,
No, it's an easy pick for me.
here we go. This one I am fired up about. Dante, the megastar. L.A.
Oof.
Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah. gets in there against AJ Styles, that dirty scoundrel, that rotten scumbag screwed my boy at the Elimination Chamber, flew 15 hours across the world.
Just to be a
Hater of the
just
year
to be a hater.
to screw LA Knight out of that chamber
This has been
opportunity.
such a good build between like
And with
you
little
look
time
back,
on screen.
yeah, and like you just look back at how long it's been building, and I'm glad that it's like coming to a head at that they haven't had a singles match up until because like the whole thing with Seth Rollins getting hurt in the fall when like remember when Solo just, like jumped off the trailer
Yeah, that
when
was
they were just
so funny.
when AJ Styles was supposed to face you know was supposed to team up with Cena and do them two versus the Bloodline, and then Solo just jumps off the top of a trailer and injures AJ Styles, quote unquote. And then LA Knight kind of took that role and then leaned into it. They beat they had the Bloodline match. Then he had the match with Roman, and then they had the Fatal 4-Way between Roman Randy at the Rumble.
Yeah.
Roman Randy and those two.
That match
But
wasn't that
like
good. I know we didn't really talk about the Rumble all that much because it was so long ago, but I still just think about how. I mean, there wasn't really. There's Fatal 4-Ways are always tough to
it
do.
was a quick match. It was weird because it was like, all right, we got to get time for the
But it's like
like
we know
bundling.
Roman's going into Mania with the belt, so it was
Yeah,
kind of just we talked about it before, but
it was a good setup though for LA Knight and AJ Styles. Like it was good enough to be like, hey, this is going to be a Mania match.
yeah,
And the promos, LA Knight showing up like a cameraman last week in disguise, like wildly entertaining. Like the whole thing's been a good enough build to make it and make me care about this match that honestly is a standalone match. So it is a match that doesn't have a whole lot of stakes attached to it. I think it's probably the least consequential match. It's just going to be a good, fun match.
yeah, yeah, and I think LA Knight wins. I think you got to keep that momentum. I think AJ Styles can afford to take an L. I also think LA Knight could probably. I mean, it just depends on how this goes. I'm surprised this is
Yeah,
going
I
to
was
be a
gonna say
straight
I
up
might
match.
go. I'm gonna go LA Knight just because the crowd reaction, and it's gonna be a good Mania moment for him.
Yeah,
But this is like kind of similar to those AJ Styles matches that he's had at Manias in the past, where it's like you assumed that AJ Styles would win. You really didn't know how he was gonna win, but you're just like, oh, AJ Styles is gonna win this match, just because the crowd loved him and the pop that it would get. I remember his match at Mania 3, maybe was it 3 when it was him and Shane McMahon
I believe that was
and
33.
and that was just a banger of a match. Stole the show.
It did.
And I think like this might be another one of those that's like early on in the night, or one of the probably second, maybe third match of the night, and you just look back on it and you're like, wow, that match was wildly entertaining from all aspects. Thought it was a great match, and you know. I just think from the sheer pop factor, they're gonna want LA Knight to win, so the whole crowd's just yelling, "Yeah!"
The main event that night was Roman Reigns defeating The Undertaker
Oh
via
yeah!
pinfall. That's the infamous.
Oh yeah!
Brock Lesnar destroyed Goldberg in 4.5 minutes. So that was
Oh, that was a wild
Those
mania.
were
It was kind of weird. It was a
yeah,
weird one.
they were still one night then, so that was
That
kind
was the
of
Jericho. That was the Jericho KO
yeah.
KO
John
night too.
Cena
Where it's like,
proposed to Nikki Bella that night. That was
that was a
Seth
bad
Rollins
mania.
and Triple H.
That was not a good mania.
No, it's I've been trying to do like research for. I was gonna do a video with like a top 10 WrestleMania matches, and all of my matches are like from 21 to like 28 ish, and then like I have a couple more recent ones. I honestly maybe the only
Ugh.
recent one was Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. Like that was the other one. Other than that, I went through and it was like
There's a lot of Brock Lesnar, and like Brock Lesnar doesn't put on like
banger. Like it's not like
bangers.
like your typical like wow like your favorite. It was kind of like I frame it as like my favorite matches, and haven't seen
Yeah,
I haven't been as
Cena
locked
versus The
in.
Rock, match of a lifetime, the match of a lifetime part two.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking unreal. But Eric Rowan
Uh,
taking the pinfall in 6 seconds at WrestleMania. That was
it was a 32 underrated of a show because that had Undertaker and Shane McMahon, and that's the Hell in the
Hell in
Cell
a
where
Cell. That was on there
Shane
too
McMahon just like jumped off the thing like right into the
for no
Undertaker.
reason. Just got dipped out onto the
None
table and
whatsoever.
just almost died. JR's losing his mind. That was still when the WWE had the glory days going on. But
Yeah, that was like the oddest. I remember like that was probably when I first started getting back into watching wrestling again, and I was just like, all right, it's WrestleMania season. Like Shane McMahon was always cool. Oh shit, they brought the Undertaker back, and it's like, yeah, Shane's about to do some wild shit,
yep.
and he did not disappoint.
It's like when he's on top of the cell, he's like, he's not going to do this. He's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, oh my God. Oh, no, no, he's dead. You're like, oh, this isn't good.
Yeah, did he just die?
So LA Knight takes the W. We keep it moving. Dante, Logan Paul, the Maverick, your boy,
Oof.
the king of Prime Energy Drink. He is
Shout
the
out Prime.
U.S. champion. He takes on Randy Orton, the Legend Killer, Mr. RKO, and Kevin Owens in a triple threat match for his United States Championship. I have loved this kind of little, 3-way build. Kevin Owens hates Logan Paul. He's been kind of matched up with him a few times. Got
Yeah.
screwed. He should have beaten him the one time at, I think it was, where
Rumble.
was that? At the Rumble? Yeah, with the brass
Brass
knuckles.
knuckles.
And then the
Yeah.
brass knuckles came out and he knocked Randy Orton out, who sold that punch incredibly at
Yeah.
Elimination Chamber. So they have kind of worked their way up to this. I do not think Logan Paul leaves here with this belt. I could see
No.
a way that he does, of course, because it's just why not keep the belt on Logan Paul, but I'm going to pick Randy Orton here.
Damn, I was gonna pick Randy Orton.
There you go.
I'll go. Just be contrarian. I'll say Kevin Owens.
How do
Um,
you, I mean, I guess it doesn't really, they could put it, I think it just, no matter what, I just don't think Logan Paul leaves with it. So I guess
no,
I could see either one of those other two.
I think the only thing if Randy loses the belt to KO, I think you get the Randy Orton heel turn,
Yeah. Yeah, where he's
sharp
like
heel
trying to
turn.
shake his hand, and then he just RKOs him out of
Yeah,
nowhere.
where it's like because they built up this thing where it's like out of respect, they've been tag partners a little bit. They've been like kind of buddy buddy. Randy's been a very good face after coming back. Like at some point in time, Randy's just got to go
He's got to go
and just
haywire. He's got to lose his mind.
yeah. And like with KO's had the longer beef, I think, with Logan Paul. So I think it would mean more for him to pin Logan Paul.
Yeah.
But I just that's where I would. And then I think you can feud Randy and KO through the summer if Randy does heel turn on him, which would be interesting in a solos match. I the only way I could think of Logan Paul keeping the belt. So like if he wins somehow, Logan Paul, he's got to keep that belt through
So
SummerSlam.
SummerSlam. Yeah. I mean,
Like there's no way
he could
he
win it
doesn't
back.
defend it. Could I wouldn't mind seeing like I know this is a fatal 3-way, but like I was saying let's do the multi-person ladder match for this bad boy.
Yeah.
I was a big proponent of that, but if you could do it back again in Cleveland and have Logan Paul come back for it, and you want to have something with Logan Paul with this title because I think he's done a good job with the title.
Yeah.
I'm not going to knock his title reign. It's been actually pretty entertaining, and he's put on some good matches and some good feuds, and he's done some cool stuff with it. You've seen the title, almost everywhere since he's had it, but like. I think I'm gonna go KO.
Okay.
I'll go KO. Get that man a belt after a while, and then again, let Randy heel turn, RKO him like right there, straight middle of the ring, uh, and then feud it out between the two of them for a little bit.
I think they got to put the belt on somebody who is going to be around. Because I just think Logan's going to take a little bit of time off after Mania. He's put in a lot of effort, a lot of work
Yeah, and
since the Rumble. I think this is the time.
I think you want to kind of like you got a lot of NXT call ups.
Yeah.
One of which we talked about Braun Breaker. Like you got a lot of dudes that like, all right, let's start having like actual U.S. title. I wish they would bring back the John Cena U.S. title open challenge, but like That was one of the best things ever. But like with KO, you have a bunch of dudes, singles guys on the SmackDown roster between Braun Breaker, between like even Solo if you wanted to get a US title run. Like let's start changing it up a bit, and I think this is the best way to do it because I don't see Logan Paul taking losses to
No.
somebody that's not KO or Randy.
Nope. And I think this also could be a way, like you said, if KO were to win, he pins Logan Paul, protect Randy from another pin because it seemed like that was the reason, one of the reasons why they made that fatal 4-way at the Rumble because it seemed like it was going to be Randy and Roman, and they were like, wait, we don't really want to do this yet. We kind of want to
Yeah.
put this in the chamber for later because we haven't really done this. So anything is possible in this match. That's one of the this is one of the ones I'm very excited about. Can't wait.
Yeah.
Weapons will be involved. Announce table spot probably somewhere here. They'll have to save it for the last match, but
RKO's for everybody.
RKO's for everybody involved. How about the Almighty and the Pride?
Yes.
I don't know if this is true. This is what Wikipedia says. Their group name is the Pride. Bobby Lashley, Angelo Dawkins, Montez Ford, the Street Profits. They take on the Final Testament, Karrion Kross,
Oh,
and these
boo.
other gentlemen of the, I believe, the
AOP.
AOP. I truly could not care less for the AOP or the Final Testament. They don't do much for me. When I see their
Bobby.
matches pop up on SmackDown after I record them, I usually try to skip by them. It's really, the black and white entrance, which I think is cool, but I just want to say that I think it's cool. Karrion Kross, come on, I don't know. He hasn't done much for me. Scarlett, she does do much for me, but
Scarlett's good.
Scarlett's cool.
Scarlett's good.
But other than
Karrion
that,
Kross is good.
yeah,
He hasn't been, I don't think, fully fleshed out as a character. Like,
y-
and the Final Testament group hasn't been. I mean, they've just been feuding with Bobby and the Prophets for like 4 months,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's like even at the Royal Rumble they were like a month into their feud. It was like very odd. It's just been one of those things that I think I think Karrion Kross could do a lot for me if he decided to have a bit of a baby run. Maybe he got way too hot way too quick, and then all of a sudden it was just like, all right, he's not that guy, but he's a good guy. He's a dude. He's just not that guy. Um, Bobby Lashley is. I love Bobby Lashley. I think there's former ECW legend Bobby Lashley. There's no way
Oh
he
man,
lose. There's no way he loses in Philly, right?
no, and this is a
There's
Philadelphia
no
street fight.
shot.
He's not losing a
Yeah,
Philadelphia street fight. It's not happening.
no. There's just gonna be some wild stuff happening with this one. Like he's gonna go berserk and like spear everybody.
Yeah.
Montez Ford's gonna be jumping off of probably ladders,
Yep.
like doing spots, probably like crowd spots.
Yep.
You know,
They're going to be all over the place with this. There's going to be weapons. There's going to be somebody's going to get hit with a cheesesteak. This is going to be very
probably.
corny, but
Oh yeah,
it's going
but
to be
like
good.
Montez Ford's going again. There's going to be some wildly entertaining stuff. And Bobby Lashley. So I was at Raw 30 was last year, I guess.
Yes.
Like in
Yeah.
Philly, like a
Yeah.
year ago.
January of last year, I believe.
Yeah, he is the largest man I think I've ever seen in my life, like in person at one of these events, and he moves faster than any human being I think outside of Brock Lesnar I've at that size I've ever seen. He's like the most athletic dude I've ever seen in my life.
So we both are in agreement, and yes, I cannot wait to see some of these guys in person. I just can't wait to. I can't wait to view the
Yeah.
stage. I can't wait to see the ring. I can't wait to see the link packed to watch wrestling. It's gonna be, and it looks like the weather's gonna be awesome. All of that,
Oh
Dante,
yeah.
is gonna culminate in Sunday night. You're gonna have watched multiple, double-digit wrestling matches in person. You're
Yes.
gonna have seen all sorts of crazy shit by now. And then you finally get to this, the main event of WrestleMania 40, Roman Reigns, the Tribal Chief, defending his undisputed WWE Universal Championship against the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes for the second year in a row. After last year, they screwed him bad. They screwed him bad
Solo just showed up, Samoan
with
Spike
the
and
Samoan
everybody.
spike. I thought for sure that Roman Reigns was going to lose that title last year. Cody wins, or I thought Cody would win. It was kind of like his time, it's his moment, but it was not to be the case. This year, everyone really believes that this year they're gonna. I'm gonna stop. Me and my friend Mark, we're gonna stop watching. That's kind of what the
I'm
mentality from the
gonna
Cody Crybabies.
was the Triple H
Yeah, that's
way
what he
back
says.
when.
And
I'm gonna tweet my
I'm gonna tweet my displeasure, and
yeah.
if that doesn't work, well, me and my friend
We're
Mark are gonna stop
gonna
watching.
stop watching. Yeah.
Nothing better than that. That shit was but that's how I felt when they screwed with The Rock. I said, you know what? I'm not watching this shit anymore. But selfishly, but of course, listen. At the end of the day, was I mad about The Rock not being in this main event? Yes. Am I happy that the way it's turned out? I absolutely am because
Yeah, they made it compelling enough that like the only thing that I could say that they've done along the way, and it's just because The Rock is so good at what this is you kind of I find myself now rooting more so against Cody just as a face and just being like I don't care for it.
no.
Honestly, like I'm not look like what The Rock's giving you is incredible stuff. I'm team Big Dwayne. But again, it's you know
Listen,
is what it is.
it seems like there's of course the hardo wrestling fans who don't watch sports, and are like this is like the only thing that they care about and talk about or enjoy. Think those people are like, well, he's earned it. This is the right thing. Cody deserves his moment. He needs to finish his story. Like that stuff. Like that stuff matters. And there's some of us who are like our age and older who are just like, dude, The Rock is sick. Like he's the
to
man.
quote The Rock, fuck your
Fuck
story.
your story, okay? Off is the direction you can fuck. All right, this guy is giving us so many lines during this, and you shut your mouth, punk. The Rock will come out there and slap the herpes off your
Slap
lip.
the herpes right off your mouth.
Incredible, but listen,
Go home and smoke some crack.
now go home and smoke some more crack. He's
Like,
created
it's
so many
wild.
memories and moments just in this. Him whip, and we didn't really talk about this, but I think I made a video about just the Raw that he was whipping him outside in Chicago in the rain. Like
Oh my
that is an
God.
all time moment, Dante, that we will never forget. Where we were watching The Rock come out of nowhere and just start beating the shit out of Cody Rhodes and like vintage. That felt like an old school Raw where I remember where I was when I was watching John Cena. John Cena's dad get slapped. I'm telling you,
Oh my God.
I was probably 11 or 12 years old. I think it was 2006, so I had to be 11. And Dante, I swear to God, I was like, no way. There's no way he can stand for this. John Cena's a punk if he doesn't beat the shit out of Edge for slapping his dad. He went into his crib in West Newbury and slapped his dad. Despicable. And then
Remember where you were when
Randy Orton punted him
Triple
in the head.
too.
Well, that's what the L.A. Knight gave me the vibes of when he showed up
home
to his
invasion,
crib.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Triple H showing up.
the L.A. Knight AJ Styles video was so funny because they did like the body cams, but it was like so
Yeah.
fake, and they had like the ring cam
Yeah.
of them fighting. It was so funny. But listen, this has culminated in like it gave another level of fire to this match because Dante, without The Rock, I would not give a fuck about this match. I mean that from the bottom of my heart because Cody and Roman have done really nothing themselves to promote this singular match.
Nope.
That face-off they had on SmackDown was milquetoast boring. Like it was. They were like, well, like they were just standing in front of each other and calling each other names. You're a politician. I'm the champion's champion. And it's like, Cody, if he's not being serious and he's trying to wit people, then it's boring. But it's kind of the same thing with Seth Rollins. Like if those two are serious, fired up, angry, then they're good, and I like
Yeah.
their shit.
And it's been a lot of okay. Let's focus on night one, and you almost kind of forget that night two exists until you're like, oh shit, there's another match, and they're gonna have the title in this match. I don't know how I think you're so close to the finish line with Roman Reigns passing uh, Hulk Hogan, brother. I just think you guys you just got to gun it to the finish line at this point.
So at the end of the day, I think we've kind of discussed this. Who we think wins. We still think the tribal chief leaves with the belts. We don't think this reign is over. This legendary, infamous reign, and we think some sort of interference or something happens. Are we right?
Yeah, I think the only way I change my answer is if like Roman pins Cody night where Roman they get the pin night one, and we're talking bloodline rules. Like, maybe then you could be like, oh my god, Cody's gonna win and defy all the odds. But like, I just I don't know how like I know how you do it, but I just don't know how it goes over with some. I think Roman retains and Roman carries his bad boy into you know. And again, for me, it's almost the what do you do after like long term, right? Not long term, but like medium term. So like for the summer, if Roman doesn't have a belt, like what's he doing? Like is he going to show up on SmackDown and what start feuding with who? Right? Like
The only thing I
like
can think is, listen, you have Cody win the title, and it's kind of like he feuds with some people, but eventually you get your way back to Cody versus The Rock, and then Roman comes
yeah.
back and screws The Rock, and basically says like, "You're not gonna win my title. This is bullshit." And then they set up that for Mania. Like that kind of seems
Yeah, but like if that happens, like Roman's not on TV until like Roman's off till
a while.
SummerSlam.
Yeah, and
Like
and
he's
I don't
not
know
coming
if
back all
can
summer.
they really afford that. Like are both of these two going to go away, and then what's going to happen to the SmackDown ratings? Do they not care? I don't think couldn't
Yeah.
imagine
And I
that.
don't and I don't think like
Cody's
you
not going
know
to carry that by himself.
no and the bloodline what you're talking is just like I don't see the bloodline losing all these matches and I don't see the only win on the bloodlines, list for Mania being The Rock and Roman, and after that match, The Rock goes and does a movie till August, and Roman disappears because he lost the title. Like I just I can't see it. And then what you have like Solo just you try to push Solo to the moon, but it's long term, right? I don't see it. I see you know
What would you do with
Roman,
what do you do with Cody in the event that he loses? So you would say that he gets screwed by somebody, right? And it would maybe
Seth
be
or Priest,
Seth or
yeah,
Priest, something like that. Then maybe you could feud with them. I don't know. It seems like they are
Seth
in
or
a tough spot
Priest.
either way.
Maybe you set up Cody versus yeah, no, Seth and Priest. Maybe you have Cody versus The Rock at. I mean, I don't know if he'll be available for SummerSlam or sometime in the fall for like Survivor Series, but Cody versus The Rock in that Survivor Series in the fall, right? Like,
Yeah. I
and
think it just feels like SummerSlam is like where
I
it's
would
gonna.
have it for me, and if it's all about if The Rock's available. Um, give me Rock versus Cody at SummerSlam with a stipulation attached to like if Cody wins, he gets one more shot at Roman with like, you know, at a time and place of his choosing type of deal.
Yeah.
And then like, that forces animosity between Roman and The Rock when The Rock eventually loses to Cody. Cody wins, kind of calls his shot and gets his title match kind of cleaner there. Um, I just there's part of me that just doesn't want Cody to win ever.
Yeah, that
Like
has to happen though. Like
I know.
they have to reward him. He's been the
I
company
know.
man for so. I know.
Because like I was even thinking like Money in the Bank. Like when Money in the Bank rolls around, what would be compelling for me for Money in the Bank is if like you could give Cody Money in the Bank if you really want to, but like having Solo win Money in the Bank and cashing on Roman would be peak. But then like you can't have Cody beat anybody else but Roman. It just kind of
Yeah.
takes away from it, unless you have Cody defend against Roman at some point and kind of have it be like that. But like you can't have. I just don't think you could have a world where Cody wins that title and is not against Roman Reigns.
So Dante, I think I am in agreement though. I do. I'm saying I'm setting it at 60-40 Roman wins. But I'm
Oh,
moving.
I'd be seven. I'm 70-30.
See, yeah, I'm
I'm
moving.
higher.
I'm moving in the direction of Cody Rhodes. Just the closer this gets, it seems like
No,
he's
there's
starting to
no. I'll
cry
riot.
and get all
I'll
emotional,
riot.
and he's starting to get close to realizing that his dream is going to come true. And I don't know if they really know what they're going to do after. But I mean,
Yeah,
honestly though, if they thought that they were about to, the part of me thinks that, but then the other part of me is like, they were about to do Rock and Roman. Then they were not thinking about getting that belt on Cody. They didn't care to get that belt on Cody. You know?
no. And again, like you're this close. Like they've mentioned it a couple times with Hogan with that modern era record. Like you're this close. Like you can't just hard pivot that much when you're literally after Mania 100+ days away. Like you just got to make it to September,
Yeah.
and you give Roman some. Roman won't work Backlash. That's a fact. He's not. He's
Yeah,
not
that's not
doing.
happening.
And then so you're in what Money in the Bank. You can give him maybe a non-title match at Money in the Bank or something at Money in the Bank, and then that leads you to Survivor Series, and then the Bash of Berlin, and then after that you are in the clear. Like you break the Hogan record, and then you can do whatever you want with it. You can have him lose that night. I would not care.
So, I just I'm getting nervous, Dante.
Honestly,
I'm getting a little
let
nervous.
Solo break the streak. You
It's
know,
not gonna happen
like
though.
let Solo do it.
I know. You,
Like right now, it's Cody or bust. But you have again. I would have it be some sort of like. I, honestly, at this point, have Cody be the ultimate face and just have Cody win Money in the Bank. Book some random SmackDown or Raw at Madison Square Garden in after September and say, "Hey, I'm cashing in this day, and I will be having a match at the Garden because that's the whole Dusty Rhodes story thing."
you
Like,
can you imagine how
just
silly Cody would look walking around with that belt, with that briefcase and his 3-piece suits every single Raw or
it would look
SmackDown or
hysterical.
look at, so it would be so funny. But
But like, and that would be something that like I wouldn't put it past WWE to do because of how stupid Priest has made. Like the last three Money in the Bank winners have just made it look god awful,
yeah,
or at least the last two. I think the one before that made it look. I think maybe the one before that may have been Big E.
and that
I don't
was
know. I
fine.
don't remember. Yeah, Big E. But like, pull the ultimate babyface move, man. Win the briefcase and say, "Look, I'm cashing in on this date, at this venue here," and then have that be a thing.
And people keep saying, I see the Cody mouth breathers online say that, well, it's not a
That's
record.
breathers.
It's not a record. It doesn't matter. He's
Dude,
not
just
breaking
kick
anything. They
rocks.
don't care. I'm like, yes,
Kick
they
rocks.
obviously do
It is a
because
right.
they keep
Yes.
talking about it all the time. So whether you care about it is not really important. It's about whether the WWE cares about it. And it's obvious that they do. So,
They won all these records. It's like there's a reason why all of these everyone that's held the belt, like if you look at all the belt holders, they've had their titles for well over 100+ days. And it is because they want this. They want these long reigns so they could start expunging some people out of
the
those
record
record books
books.
and
Yeah.
having those long term reigns, right? Like
Yeah.
honestly, for me, Roman would never lose. Roman would just have the title forever. Just break
Wrest-
Bruno Sammartino's ginormous record. Like, just never take it off of him.
WrestleMania
Like, just
80.
yeah, Roman versus like Cody Rhodes'
John
grandkids,
Cena
and
Jr.
yeah, just like have Roman beat everybody, and I'll still be acknowledging it because it's the thing with Roman's title reign, and this is one of the last things I'll say about it is like it's still fresh. Like it has not gotten.
To me, it hasn't gotten old at all.
No, and you're well over 1,000 days, and it's still like the only thing that's not fresh about it is the lack of people because you always know kind of what the outcome's going to be. That's why you gotta figure something out. But yeah, no, just keep the belt on Roman forever.
Hell yeah.
I'll keep acknowledging my tribal chief. He ain't losing.
You guys can't see me, but my
You know
finger
what?
is in the air right now.
You know
We
what?
the
Yeah, so is
ones.
mine. So is mine. You know what? After that little pep talk of mine, I'm 80-20 now.
All right.
I am even further
I
on the
like that.
Roman Reigns bandwagon.
We're talking himself further into a tribal chief victory.
I'll be at 100% by Sunday.
I
Like,
get a
you'll come
couple
talk to me.
Surfsides in me in the parking lot. You come talk to me, and I'll be
Oh
telling
my
you how
god,
there's no chance. I'll storm the ring at the tribal chief. Looks like things aren't
yeah,
going his way. So
yeah. On night one, I'll be down in the 100 level. I might just pop out the crowd. If the final boss needs me, I'm there.
he's my tribal chief. Don't tell
Oh
Roman,
yeah,
but the final
I
boss.
acknowledge the Rock.
Yeah, the final boss. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. WrestleMania 40, Night 1 and Night 2, full card breakdown. This has been the Hot Take Hot Box. Enjoy the show. I know
Let's
we
get
will.
after it. Let's have a weekend.
I am so excited. This is going to be like the Disney World of wrestling, of me being reliving my dreams as a little kid.
I'm going to be unbearable all weekend.
I
You're not
already
going to
am.
be able to talk to me. Yeah, no one's going to be able to talk to me.
I'm telling you, I remember when I asked my dad back in the day to take me to WrestleMania 22 in Detroit, even like not realizing how crazily impossible that would have been. I'm like, come on, man, we can go. John Cena, he's like, yeah, sure, whatever. But now it's in my backyard. I get to go see 2 nights of WWE, and it's never been hotter since I've been
The
around.
Rock made it cool.
The Rock
made it cool.
He's
again.
the only guy I love just to piss people off. The Rock made professional wrestling cool. Shut your fucking mouth.
Mouth breathers.
This
Like,
is
no,
what
we didn't.
happens.
It's been
This
cool.
is what happens when you fuck with the final boss. So
It's been cool.
on that note, my name is Matt McSweeney. His name is
Dante Maglio, baby.
And enjoy the show, and let us know what you think in the comments, especially. Tell us if you think we're morons. Tell us if you agree. Please book the whole show for me in the comments. I would love it, and I'll read it the next time we do a pod. So until then, ladies and gentlemen, peace.